Hello everyone, welcome back. This is RandoGEEK. So we have an update regarding T-Mobile. Looks like their lawyers have agreed to reduce fees for T-Mobile settlement. Now this takes place back in 2021. This is a legal battle over T-Mobile's 2021 data breach. And it looks like they finally agreed to a settlement as shared by Thomson Reuters. They're saying the attorneys have agreed to a reduced compensation of $46 million. This is instead of the original amount, which would have been $78 million that they were initially supposed to receive. They're saying that this decision was made after they received complaints that the original amount was a windfall. So T-Mobile agreed to settle the lawsuit and pay $350 million to the victims of the data leak, which affected around 76.6 million customers. That's correct, 76.6 million customers. They're saying aside from the claims that the class members were bound to receive, the fund would include payment for administrative costs and legal fees as well. They're saying with the original amount, however, class members would only get either $25 or $100. Those who encountered an out-of-pocket payment would get about $25,000 in payments. Meanwhile, the lawyers who represented the class members were entitled to legal fees amounting to $78.5 million. Yeah, so the lawyers basically get all the money, even though maybe you listening is a victim, had your identity stolen, had to go through a nightmare to get everything settled and fixed. But yeah, the lawyer represented T-Mobile, so they get $78.5 million. Nice world we're living in, right? They're saying after this was contested, the lawyers asked a U.S. judge for a $46 million legal fee instead, as this would justify the hours they worked. By not objecting to reduced fees, the lawyers believe this would prevent further delays and ensure the right compensation would be given to class members. All right, so with this update, we now understand what's going on here. Now, quickly, I want to touch base on this. So here's how I feel about this. One, I'm glad T-Mobile is going to be paying a lot of money. I do wish they were paying the full amount because of the urgency of this matter, right? The fact that this has been a nuisance to so many customers, right? So many customers have been impacted by this data breach. 76.6 million customers. The severity of this situation is no joke. This is real. Customers have been infected. Identities have been stolen. Many customers have had to deal with a lot of headaches trying to get things settled out. They might have received unwanted bills, having their social security number, date of birth, credit card information put on the dark web, unauthorized, of course. And T-Mobile hasn't really had to pay for it, right? I mean, they are paying in fines, yes, but the show still goes on. Data breaches have reoccurred after this incident, and I'm sure we'll get another one. We're getting due for another data breach from T-Mobile, if I'm being perfectly honest. We know that, we're expecting at least one per year with the Un-carrier. That's how it's been for a while now. They've had the biggest track record. AT&T is starting to catch up, but this is, not acceptable. Now, with that being said, does the lawyers deserve $78.5 million? Hell fucking no. That money belongs to the people, the victims that have had to deal with the data breach, the repercussions of the data breach, the ones that have had their data stolen and hacked and put on a dark web, and the ones that have had the headaches, that have had to figure out a way to get through it and just basically have sleepless nights over this bullshit because T-Mobile has been careless with customers' information. Now, again, this is only for the people that don't watch me, maybe just tuning in for the first time, found this video and wanted to learn more about, what's going on in this situation. I am not biased when it comes to any carrier. Do I have certain things that I like about carriers? 100%. But if you screw up, I'm calling you out on it if you're a carrier. I don't pick sides. I don't say, well, I like T-Mobile so they can fuck up and steal people's information and do whatever. No, that's not how it works. Not for me. T-Mobile deserves to pay. The customers that were affected are the ones that deserve the bulk of the money. $25 or $100 is not really enough to compensate certain customers that have been truly affected by this, that have had a lot of stress and aggravation, not while the lawyers, who I understand did their job to get this money for the people, for the public. I get that. But they should not be getting the bulk of it. They should have, at the very least split it so that customers get far more than what they're getting, especially the ones that, have had a lot of stress. Now, I know that they're saying the ones that have lost some money might get higher payments, but, it's not going to be enough. Okay, it's not going to be enough, not when the lawyers are walking away with all this money. So you have to teach T-Mobile a lesson. I don't know if this is enough to teach them to be more cautious. Again, T-Mobile is not the only company that has gone through this. It's really bad now. If I'm being perfectly honest, it's really bad. We're hearing about it with multiple companies. I don't understand how it's gotten so bad. Many of you, you feel like it's on purpose. Our companies that we do business with every day are selling our information for a price, maybe overseas, maybe not. Either way, how many times can you see this before you start to believe that might be the case? Maybe we are becoming victims of our companies betraying us and selling our information to other countries. Very possible. When you try to rationalize how this situation can constantly happen and nothing is being done about it, nothing severe anyway, the T-Mobile needs to be put on notice. We've read about at&t actually being put on notice, and that's good. I was real excited about that. Not because I have a personal vendetta or a dog in the fight where I want to come against at&t. No, hell no. That's not what it's about. I have no problem with at&t. In fact, I think they're a great carrier. But I don't like how they've been handling things lately, and I feel the same way about T-Mobile for years. They've been very careless with consumer information, and a lot of customers have had to deal with the consequences of it. So I'm glad that they're paying high fees and high fines. I think more of this money needs to go to the people that were affected by it, the consumers that have had their information stolen, put it on the dark web, and have had to deal with a lot of stress over the situation. And I definitely think T-Mobile needs to be put on notice. I think they as well need to be put on notice because of the constant reoccurrences of the situation. It's not enough to write a check. You need to own what you did, and there has to be severe consequences that if this continues, you will not be able to operate for a certain amount of time until you can prove that consumers' data is safe with you. That's all I have to say here. As always, I want to thank you guys for stopping by and watching. Please like and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.